Am I the a-hole for walking out the surprise birthday party my family threw for me? I, 26 female, have been married to my wheelchair-bound husband Adam for 2 years now. His disability was a result of a major car accident shortly after we got back from our honeymoon. His injuries were too severe and no one thought he was going to get better. My life certainly changed, because now I have tons of responsibilities, but I'm happy and blessed to still have him in my life. Before the accident, my family used to invite Adam to events and dinners and visit all the time, but not anymore. They don't see him much but help out with our financial struggles. I've been told that being a caregiver is huge and unfair since I'm young. My mom even tried to set me up with a guy named James, her friend's son, by inviting me to lunch with him or giving him my number/social media account. I told her it won't work. I love Adam and will care for him for the rest of my life if I had to. So I put space between me and my family, and said unless they stop bringing James, who was disrespectful towards Adam, around me, I won't visit them. Mom apologized, and I haven't seen James in months, which was a relief. My birthday was days ago, and I had to work that day but planned to celebrate with Adam in the evening. But at 3 p.m. I got a phone call from Mom asking me to stop by once I get off work. I arrived at Mom's house to find my entire family there setting up a surprise birthday party. I was thrilled, as I didn't think they'd even pay for a party after already helping me with money. Then I asked if I could go bring Adam so we could celebrate together, but they stalled saying my brother will bring him, and that's when the door rang and there was James. I was confused. I asked what he was doing there, and Mom said I should relax as she invited him and his mom. I remained calm and took the gift James brought after so much hesitation. I opened it and there was some jewelry piece. Then I made a snide comment asking if Adam was ever able to afford such piece of jewelry. I just closed the box and gave it back. They insisted I take it, but I grabbed my bag and said I was leaving. Mom said I should stay because the family, sisters, brother, and nephew came together to do this for me. I told her it was rude of her to catch off guard and invite James to the party. She and Dad followed after I walked out asking me to return, but I just kept walking. Afterwards, Mom and Aunt left messages, saying it was disrespectful to walk out like that after the efforts they made to celebrate my birthday. They said I had plenty of time to celebrate with my husband, and I shouldn't have made a scene and embarrassed them in front of their friends. They said I screwed up and overreacted by being hostile towards those who were trying to be nice and take my mind off the stress. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Haven't told Adam about it, so he wouldn't be burdened with family issues. He's still emotionally recovering and I'm being careful about the stuff that would upset him. I found him asleep when I got home. He usually sleeps as early as 5 p.m. We didn't have a celebration, but talked in the morning. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. The James stuff goes far beyond trying to be nice. That's some evil crap right there. It's ironic because you had literally just married your husband. In the vows, there's always that in sickness and in health stuff, and they want you to straight up abandon your husband the second he needs you? What if the situation was reversed and she was in the wheelchair? Would they not expect Adam to help as her husband? I hope his family sucks. Not the a-hole, but at this point, no contact or low contact because they will keep trying, and James is weird. The problem is it sounds like Opie and Adam are dependent on her family financially. Opie, I hope you and hubby have filed for federal disability payments. I know it can be a pain in the butt and take forever, but this is the type of situation they exist for. Not the a-hole. Not even a teeny tiny little bit. But curiosity has me wondering, did you find out if your brother was actually going to get your husband? The answer has no sway in my ruling. I'm just curious. No, my brother never left to go get Adam. This just makes you even more not the a-hole. You're a saint. Your family's absolutely freaking abhorrent. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for canceling my son's birthday party upon discovering that he ruined his stepbrother's deceased brother's hoodie? It's a complex situation, but I'll do my best to explain. I'm male 45, have a bio son Leo 16 from my previous relationship. I married a stepmom who is a mother of 2 boys, Connor, 20 deceased, and Derek, 12. I've never had the pleasure to meet Connor, who tragically passed away from a motorcycle accident. Derek was so devastated by this loss, and although it's been years, he's still pretty much grieving. I've seen tons of pictures and videos of Connor, and made efforts to get to know who he was as a way to share Derek's grief and be there for him to lend an ear and a comforting shoulder. It's safe to say that Derek and I grew a strong bond in no time, but my son Leo isn't close to Derek. Understandable, because not all siblings and step-siblings are the same. Leo and Derek are different in everything, which isn't a bad thing. But Leo calls himself the brutally honest type and makes insensitive comments about Derek most of the time, which tend to be under the guise of advice. Derek never complained, so I had to step in and tell Leo to stop being insensitive towards his stepbrother, especially with everything regarding Connor and his memory. Leo would say, "Okay, I get it, and I won't do it again." Then days ago, Leo wanted to hang out with my friends and asked Derek if he wanted to join. Derek agreed and put on Connor's hoodie before going out. Leo commented on the hoodie and called it ugly and asked him to put on something else, but Derek insisted on wearing it or not go. So Leo dropped it. Hours later, Derek came home crying with his hoodie in his hand. He said Leo and friends cut it into pieces while he was in the bathroom after they convinced him to take it off. I was furious. He asked Leo and he said it was his friend's idea, then said he had to do it since Derek wears it everywhere and it looked old and embarrassing. I reminded him who this hoodie belonged to, and he said, "So what? Maybe this will help him move on in life." I then told him his birthday was cancelled and his friends aren't welcome anymore. He pitched a fit saying his birthday was a right, not a privilege, and I can't cancel it. He had my ex criticize my decision and wanted to host his birthday party, but I refused because he is grounded, so no party anywhere. She and her family then called me awful and ridiculous, and asked me to think how Leo will hate me for this, but I insisted he needed punishment for putting his stepbrother through this. Note, the hoodie belonged to Connor when he was younger, and Derek kept it. Not day haul. That's a cruel, cruel thing to do. Edit. Just ready ages. At 16, your son did that to a bereaved 12-year-old. Perhaps seek therapy for him? If this story is true, there was something really wrong with a 16-year-old son. His birthday was a right, not a privilege. That may be one of the most entitled things I've ever heard. He did something absolutely terrible, and that hoodie can't be replaced. I cannot believe the complete lack of empathy that he displayed with his actions. What he did to Derek was cruel. He absolutely deserves to have his birthday celebration cancelled. Not day haul, and good on you for actually disciplining him even though he's your bio son. For context, there are quite a few AITA posts where a parent will choose their bio child over their stepchild, even when they're clearly in the wrong. He is absolutely right that the birthday is a right. He can have his birthday. Nobody can stop him from turning 17. However, celebrating it is a privilege and not a right. As cruel as he was, he deserves the right to turn 17 without any fanfare. Not day haul. Not day haul. You're a calmer man than me. If my 16-year-old son did that, I would have lost my mind. What he and his friends did was freaking horrific, and they need to be shown how terrible it was. Canceling of his birthday is a good start, and some serious soul-searching is also in order. Bravo to you for not allowing your ex to interject and throw him a party anyway. We did have a loud argument, trust me, and I lost my temper. But Leo is the type that talks back, so he's the one yelling most of the time. The outcome is the same. I still cancelled his birthday because of what he did, and also because his friends aren't welcome to my house for what they did as well. I'd be talking to the parents of the other kids as well. All of these kids need their behinds handed to them stat. I gotta say, some of those kids' parents are enablers. They see nothing wrong with their kids' behaviors, but make no effort to even take time of their day to have a civil discussion about whatever issues I'm dealing with as a result of their kids' behaviors. It is how it is, because Leo tends to be protective of his friends despite them being bad influence. Next story. Am I the a-hole for making my sister leave my house after her joke about my son's mom leaving again? My son Jack is going to be 2 soon. His mom Annie has a complicated history in how this all happened. Her husband passed away, and 3 months after that we slept together. We were barely friends at the time, so I didn't know until after our first night together that she'd recently become a widow. But she told me she was really lonely, and just enjoyed that physical connection. So for about 8 months that's how it was, though we didn't see each other too often. Then we found out she was pregnant. She wanted to go through with the pregnancy, and I fully supported her if that was what she wanted. The thing was, she still had a lot of grief, and when my son was born it was hard for her to connect with him. She said she felt guilty having a baby with another man after losing her husband. By the time Jack was 4 months, she hadn't gotten any better, and her mental health completely deteriorated. I took over with him full-time after this, since she wasn't in the best place to be a mother. Annie still visited a few days out of the week for a short period, but I was doing most of childcare while she went to therapy. Then she was in the hospital for a while, and she couldn't come over much during COVID except for video chats, so she's essentially become a stranger to him. 3 months ago, she started coming around more after not seeing him for a while. She's on antidepressants, and therapy has helped her a lot. Now she is more set on being a mom, and we're slowly reintroducing him to her. My sister hasn't been happy about this. I know she's upset on my behalf as I struggled a bit as a single parent. She knows the situation that happened with her, but still thinks she shouldn't be allowed back into Jack's life after abandoning him. And yeah, I get her feelings. But since Annie's in a better place mentally, then I want to give a shot at Jack having a mom around. I still have my guard up, obviously, and we're taking it one day at a time. But I see how different she is with him now. Well, my sister hasn't stopped making comments no matter how many times I've told her to knock it off. She dropped by unannounced when Annie was here, and was very openly hostile right in front of Jack. Annie offered to leave, and then my sister jokes, "Make sure you come back this time." I told her to leave, and not come back until she can act right with the mother of my child. My sister is offended that I'm taking her side by kicking her out of my house, since she's only angry on my behalf and it was a joke she made. That's why she thinks I'm an a-hole. But for me, I was thinking I'd rather get her out ASAP before saying something else in front of my son. Was I being an a-hole? Now for the comments. Not a hole. You've repeatedly set boundaries with your sister regarding how she treats Annie. Actions have consequences. And this is all affecting, or will eventually affect, the kid. Having his mom be treated poorly by his aunt is not in his best interests. Not a hole for a number of reasons. 1. Your child will do best in life if he has a healthy mother. You've done a great job of making this happen for him. 2. Her mother is struggling with her mental health. I doubt your sister would be so judgmental if she had to go away and get treatment for cancer. Her mental health isn't her fault, but it is her responsibility, and it sounds like she has taken responsibility for it and gotten help, which is great. 3. If your sister really cared about her nephew and you, she'd keep her comments to herself. They don't help anyone. It doesn't matter if she's saying them on your behalf. They aren't constructive, like at all. You're a good person, Opie, and a great father. Your kid is lucky to have you, and so is his mom. Keep up the good work. There's so much. Annie didn't abandon her son. She didn't leave because she was fed up with being a mom. She had to go away to become healthier. She wasn't being irresponsible. If anything, she was doing the responsible thing of becoming better so she could be a better mom. Not a hole. She didn't abandon him. She realized she couldn't be his mother with the way she was feeling mentally and emotionally, and she did her best to get better. You're an awesome person for having her back and understanding. Also for being such a good dad. Your sister is an a-hole for making jokes when she knows you're okay with Annie being around him. I wish you the best, dude. I guess it's different when you're the one who witnessed everything that happened instead of just being told about it. Me personally, I saw how much Annie struggled, so I want things to be better now so they could have a healthy relationship. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for sitting mother-in-law and father-in-law down and telling them we will not support them in their old age, and they can't live with us? My husband's parents have been divorced for 15 years, and both remarried within a year or two of splitting. Father-in-law and his wife are not doing well financially. He has a gambling problem, while she has a shopping problem, and they live way beyond their means. I try to mind my own business, but my husband is the only child, and I worry that they think we are going to provide in their old age. Mother-in-law on the other doesn't work. She is married to a man who works in commercial real estate and is very successful. He owns a share of the firm, is semi-retired, and they live very well. We aren't close to mother-in-law. We are civil when we see her a couple times a year, but there isn't much of a relationship. So we decided that we had to talk to father-in-law about his retirement plans in the future. We want him to have fair warning and understand that we are not going to be helping. We decided to talk to mother-in-law as well. Not that she expects anything, but to make it less embarrassing for father-in-law to be fair. We asked them both to lunch, and told them that they will never be welcome to live with us, and that we are not going to fund them in their old age, so save accordingly. Father-in-law seemed embarrassed, but said he understood. But mother-in-law began to get angry, and wanted to know why she was there. I explained we were just being upfront, but she kept demanding to know if she had ever asked us for anything. She said we wasted her time. We haven't seen each other since Christmas, and why would she even want to live with people she sees 2 or 3 times a year? She then said she doesn't even like us, which seemed kind of dramatic, then stormed off. I am somewhat friendly with mother-in-law's stepdaughter, and I heard from her that mother-in-law's husband is pissed. He is pretty old-fashioned about gender roles and the man providing, and I guess he took it as a huge insult. Mother-in-law is apparently offended because she thinks I lumped her in with her ex. I think everyone's just being crazy dramatic. You're the a-hole. You took someone out to dinner who never asked to live with you, and who you barely see, just to tell them they were not welcome to live with you? And you're going to sit there and pretend you're completely shocked that they might take offense. Also, you were wasting her time. Waste someone's time to set boundaries that were never needed, then shocked Pikachu face when they're offended. Hey, I just wanted to take you out to dinner to let you know that if you end up needing a kidney transplant and I'm a match, you can't have mine. We organized the special dinner to make an announcement. We will not be helping to plan your funeral or even be in attendance. What, you thought you were getting grandbabies? Haha, no. You're the a-hole. You insulted your mother-in-law just to make her ex-husband more comfortable? Also, you insulted your father-in-law by having a very awkward conversation in front of his ex. Also, why did you even need to be there? Why couldn't your husband talk to his parents alone? How did you think this was a good idea? You're the a-hole. You were incredibly rude to your mother-in-law, and her reaction was totally justified. No wonder she doesn't like you. I just saw this, and I already don't like Opie.